Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, as I told you in the previous video, we're gonna make the second part of the Zapier tutorial. In the previous video, I taught you how to use the basic functions of Zapier. We created basic triggers, some actions that stem from those triggers. We connected different apps, so we got a better handle of what the software has to offer. And all in all, we just saw the tip of the iceberg of what Zapier has to offer. For those of you that didn't see the previous video, I really invite you to do so. I'm gonna make a little introduction of what Zapier is. This is a software that lets you automate and make a bit faster some of the aspects that a business has to go through. It lets you connect apps so you can automate different processes that are a part of the essential workflow of a business or an enterprise. In this second part of the tutorial, we're gonna go a bit deeper. We're gonna create some different automation process. We're gonna be looking at different branching pathways. We're going to be checking out the filters as conditional gates and some other stuff that will let you use the software the best way that you can. As always, I'm going to make my face disappear so you can see my screen a bit better. See you guys at the end. So we have the home page right here. For the first part of the tutorial, we're going to create a multi-step Zap. So once again, we're going to click right here on the top left. We're going to click on Zap, and right now we're gonna create a Zap that has one trigger and different actions, so it's a multi-step Zap. Let's say that for the first trigger, we want that when an attachment is get in an email account, we're gonna create a Google Sheets document using that attachment. After that, we're gonna go to Google Calendar to create a meeting, and finally we're gonna export that information from Google Calendar to Calendly. So this would be our multi-step Zap right here. One really cool stuff that you can do using Zapier is add filters. If you click this plus sign right here, we can go to the filter tab and we can add a filter between actions. Filters are conditions that must be met in order for the automation process to follow to the next step. So for example, if we go to the right here, we can choose the specific conditions. We can specify if the previous step contains something, does not contain it, matches it, or all these other different options. So it's a conditional that if something happens, something else will happen, or if it's something doesn't happen, it won't happen, depending on the conditions that you specify on the automation process. You can add filters to any part of the automation process that are below the trigger start of the automation process. So between actions, as you see right here, I could add another one on the fourth part right here. So when this happens, another filter will be added, and so on. You can specify which field you want to attach the filter to. So right here we have the first part, the new attachment in email. You could attach the filter to another filter, or you could attach it to the previous step. Once again, you can choose the conditions for this filter as well. Most commonly, the one that I think most businesses would use is exactly matches. If something happens in this step that is something exact, we want the filter to come into action and to filter the following actions. What we're seeing right now is an automation process that has just one path. As you see right here, is like a line. But let's say that we want to create different branches or different paths for the automation process to go through. If we click on this plus sign right here once again, we can go to paths and we can create different branching paths depending on what happens in this part right here. We can add further paths using the plus sign right here, and we can create as many or as much paths as we want. What happens right here is that we have, let's say, different plans of action. So when something happens right here, the automation process is going to be taken to the path A, path B, path C, or path D, and that allows your automation process to consider different actions that could impact the automation process. Let's say that if we get the new attachment and that attachment includes, let's say, an image, the automation process is going to go to this path right here. If it includes a spreadsheet, it's going to go to the path right here, or if it includes other kinds of media or information, it's going to go to different pathways. This could be applicable, for example, to a business. If you have an online business that sells, let's say, pet food, and you want customers that are buying just cat food to receive a discount, you could add a path that says that if a customer is buying cat food, it's going to be taken to the discount page. But if a customer is buying, let's say, dog food or another animal kind of food, it's going to be taken to different paths, so the discount won't apply. That is just one example of how you can use paths to better filter and better direct the automation processes inside of Zapier. For the final part of the tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you where you can find the mapping information for you to better use Zapier. So if you go to a specific action inside of the automation process and you go to the configure part right here on the right, there is a part that says file mapping. File mapping basically is a way to connect two fields so data flows between them easily and more organized. So when you map fields, your SAP will automatically take the output of the first field and enter it as an input in the second field. So right here, if we click on the plus sign, we can select from different parts of the automation process. In the field mapping, we could select the first row right here, and we could attach a specific action to this field mapping part right here. Let's say that we want this one from name to be the field mapping related to the Google Sheets action. And you can do that inside of all of the actions inside of your automation process, so you can better relate specific actions from one step to specific actions from another step. Some clarification in this part is that you can only use map fields from a previous step to a subsequent step. You cannot map fields from a later step to a previous step because it is a thing that happens in order. If this thing happens first, then the other one is gonna take place. And another thing is that if you reorder or duplicate your action steps or your paths within a SAP, you must remap your fields in those steps. And that is pretty much it, how you use more advanced functions inside of Zapier. So just as a review, we saw how pathways work, we saw what filters can do for you to better organize your automation process, and I show you where you can find the field mapping tools for you to link specific actions from one step to another. If you want to use the paid version of this app and all of the other apps inside of these tutorials, you can use the affiliate links on the description box down below. Once again, my name is Santiago. I really hope this tutorial was helpful for you. I want to read all of your comments down below for me to check out all of your opinions about this software and all of the other softwares. I really invite you to subscribe to the channel so you can see all of the other tutorials as well. And without further ado, see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.